Sneaky waiver wire ads heading into week 10. I'm Alan Seslowsky along with Jeff Erickson of RotoWire. Jeff, who's going to be your first sneaky ad heading into week 10?
Always pays to remember who was on bye the previous week. This is going to be a theme of my suggestions for this week. I'm going to start off with the Giants' Wandale Robinson. May have forgotten that he was starting to add target share heading into their bye. I like him as a good slot receiver. I like that, he's a playmaker on a team that's low on them, especially after they trade away Kadarius Toney. And I like their schedule. Houston, Detroit, Dallas, the next three. And Dallas, yeah, you worry a little bit, except they don't cover slot receivers nearly as well. So if Robinson lines up in the slot like I think he will, I think he'll be useful the next 3 weeks.
I think that's an underrated strategy, is that when you sort by points from the previous week, these guys are not going to show up. So that's important that you pointed that out. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the wide receiver on the Cleveland Browns, prior to the Browns' bye, averaging nearly 5 receptions and 75 yards per game over the last few weeks. The former 5th-round pick has already flashed upside and the propensity to strike on the big play. If these numbers continue to be his floor, Jeff, there is nuclear upside when Deshaun Watson returns in week 13. Right in time for the fantasy playoffs. Now, Amari Cooper, we all know, is the undisputed wide receiver 1 on this team. But with breakout tight end David Njoku on the mend, DPJ is set up to be a league winner. Yes, I said it. League winner.
Wow.
We recommend being aggressive on your waiver wire and sneaking Donovan Peoples-Jones onto your roster.
My next guy is Peoples-Jones' former teammate, Jarvis Landry, finally coming back. We'll see what happens Monday night against the Ravens. He's been out for a long time. Michael Thomas is on IR, and essentially he's done for the season. I think Landry steps in as the solid number 2. I think Chris Olave, he's the alpha now on this team. But Landry, he's going to be a possession guy, similar to Robinson, a slot receiver more often than not. And I think that could work out pretty well, paired up with Andy Dalton there. I think Dalton's not a deep thrower, so I think that behooves Landry's chances.
Cole Kmet, the tight ends on the Chicago Bears, was a popular breakout candidate in draft season, Jeff, but for the first 6 weeks of the season, the Bears' offense looked lost, and he did not have any fantasy viability. But over the last 3 weeks, Justin Fields is not only a top 5 QB, he's the QB1. Rising tides lift all boats, and that includes Cole Kmet, who is nearly playing 100% of the snaps, and he garnered 6 targets, turned that into 5 catches for 41 yards on Sunday, along with 2 touchdowns. That may not be a fluke, as teams tend to go back to what's working. It's easy to see Kmet being the favored pass option anytime the Bears get in close, and with Fields playing at an elite level, those opportunities are going to be more often than we originally thought.
If you can't find Isaiah Likely, if you can't find Kmet, consider checking your waiver wire to see if anybody dropped Greg Dulcich. This guy that's getting a big target monster. He's getting 7-8 targets. Doesn't matter if it's Ripien or Wilson throwing it to him. It's going to be Wilson, by the way. But he gets open. He gets separation. I know in NFL.com leagues, they were saying going into last week, he was like 6% rostered. Now, I think that's an anomaly, but in other platforms, it's probably not as low. But nonetheless, there are a lot of leagues where he's still available. Go look and see if he's in yours.
Without even having done your value meter yet, just off the top of your head, he's got to be inside the top 10 at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'd say somewhere in the 6 to 10 range is my guess.
My next sneaky ad is Kylin Hill, the running back on the Packers. Aaron Jones left Sunday's game versus the Lions with an ankle injury, which they've already said won't affect his status, but let's see. He was in a boot after the game, and reports were that he wanted to actually re-enter the game, but later was happy he did not because the ankle felt extremely sore once the adrenaline wore off, right? The Packers are 3-6 now, losers of 5 straight, and they're hanging on by a thread. But backup running back A.J. Dillon has been one of the biggest disappointments of this season, both in fantasy and in real life. If Jones does happen to miss a game, and there's going to be a committee with the Packers backfield, it is possible, I would say almost even likely, that A.J. Dillon maintains his role and Kylin Hill, a former 7th-round draft pick from Mississippi State, gets thrust into the Aaron Jones role. Hill is way better than his draft pedigree would indicate. He had a big-time college production season in 2019, and he knows how to find the end zone. He is unrostered in your league and can likely be had for a small bid now that the news on Aaron Jones is that he won't miss any time. Like I said, add him to the end of your roster, sneak him on. You could have a starting running back if Aaron Jones his health status deteriorates. If you like videos like this, consider hitting the like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified when we put up new video content every day. And right now, you could try RotoWire for free. Unlock the paywall for 2 days just by putting in your email. Go to rotowire.com/try. And remember, you can hear Jeff Erickson Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on SiriusXM Channel 87 along with Nick Whalen. And on Sundays at 9 a.m., I join Jim Coventry and we get you ready for the week ahead, also on SiriusXM Channel 87.